This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 126 of the Action Movie Guys podcast. I'm your host, Nate, and this is my co-host,
Alex Figueroa.
And on this episode, we are wrapping up our Mark Wahlberg month with the Mark Wahlberg-led action films. This one will be 2005's Four Brothers, directed by John Singleton, starring Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese, Andre 3000, Garrett Hedlund, Terrence Howard, Chiwetel Ejiofor, a lot of people in this movie. So we're going to be reviewing this. Now, before we do that, of course, I have to ask Alex, last time you seen this movie?
Never. I just heard about it last week when you told me we're going to watch it.
Oh, shoot. This is a first-time watch.
First time, man.
Oh, I love it. This is a double first-time watch week for you. That's right. Yep. I forgot. Okay, first-time watch. I saw this in 2005 when it came out. This is when I started. I was 18. So this is when I had my car. I had my job. This is when I started making movie going like a really big thing. This is a movie I saw at the theater. And yeah, I've owned it on, I owned it on Blu-ray. I don't know what happened to it, but I have it digitally now. So I own it. But yeah, I've seen it a number of times, but not in a while. It's at least been 6-7 years since I've seen it. But before we go into the review itself, let's go with a little bit of box office numbers, a little bit of critics and audience scores from the old Rotten Tomatoes. Alex, how well did this movie do back in 2005?
All right, so here we go. Box office numbers for Four Brothers from 2005. Starting off with domestic, $74 million. International, $17 million. For a worldwide total of $92 million on a budget of $45 million. Domestic opening of $21 million. All
right. A moderate success, we'll call it.
Yeah.
It made money. It didn't lose money. I'm surprised it even made 70-something million US. And that's not the quality of the film, but just the type of film it is, maybe. Yeah. But it's kind of an all-star cast, even for 2005. So maybe that's what did it. Okay, well, maybe it was the reviews. Maybe the reviews were great and they told people to go see it. Or maybe not, because this has a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics. Critics not crazy about it. However, audience score, 80% on the Four Brothers. So the normal people like us, the consumers, seem to really enjoy it. The critics, not that big of fans of it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured the critics, again, not into this type of storyline.
They get us every time.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why the audience score is really high. I mean, you got Andre 3000, which is from Outkast, the rap group. Yeah. So you have stars there. You got, Sofia Vergara, right?
Sofia Vergara, Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah, so you have some big actresses at the time. So yeah, I mean, I can see the critics being douches.
Well, it doesn't really matter what those douchebags think, because we're going to take their stupid reviews and throw them in the garbage, and we're going to give you our review. So you know what we do here. When I host, my main man Alex goes first. Alex, now we're going to score Mark Wahlberg. This is kind of an ensemble, but not quite to the extent of like the Italian Job.
Yeah.
He's a little more of a lead here, but even still, it's an ensemble. We're scoring Mark Wahlberg, of course. Please go ahead, take it away.
I gave him a 4. I thought he was great. And the reason why it's weird because he's trying to act tough. I don't want to sound like, whatever, but he's trying to act ghetto, and because he lives in Detroit. So the movie takes place in Detroit.
Yeah.
I kind of see the swag that he's trying to portray. My only problem with is, and this is the only problem I have, it looks fake. Like, when you see an actor put in a role that it's not kind of where he comes from in real life. Like, I can see Andre 3000. I can see Tyrese. The other guy just played like a rock star brother, so it kind of fit him. Mm-hmm. But he was trying to act like Andre 3000 in that type of group, like a tough guy from the hood. It didn't work for me. It would have been awesome if it was like Eminem, because he came from that Detroit, right? He's from Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
So it could have worked with this type of story. I would have said, okay, you know what? That's kind of believable. But anyway, that was the only nitpick I got for him. But when he's with his brothers, he was good. I like the whole, he's like over the top, so he beats the crap out of the guy. He does everything like out of, like very like a ticking time bomb. Like you don't know what he's going to do in a situation. And I liked him about his character. He was very good. I'm not saying he was horrible. I just felt like the aneurysms of the character, I don't feel like it was a natural, like his natural style. But other than that, I think he did a very good job with Andre. Like, I felt like they were all brothers. Like, I'm not going to take that away from them. They were all really good. I was so sucked into the movie when they all came into it. So with that said, as a group, the four brothers, I will actually give them a 4.5. I don't think it's a perfect, like the Italian Job, but I think in the solo, he's a 4.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think I gave him a 4. I like his tough kind of like, he got a permanent, his furrowed brow. He has like his eyebrows mad the whole entire movie, literally pretty much the whole time. But I think that's a pretty good look for him. Like, it works as far as his facial expressions. I know he's not from Detroit. I know he is from Boston. I don't know if he's from any kind of like tough area. Yeah, I don't know. I know him and his brothers, I think they grew up kind of poor from what I've read, but maybe not. I don't know. I do know the bravado at times was a little over the top, which is why I see where you're coming from. But I think he's hilarious in this movie. Like, I like the character a lot. He's super funny. He talks trash. Like, I love that they all just talk trash to. You're right. Their chemistry is great. I don't even like Tyrese as an actor, but I like Tyrese in this movie because I like his interactions with everybody. I like when him and Andre 3000 fight. He's like, throw that thing at me one more time. And he throws it at him one more time. Like, he keeps throwing them, the little record disc thing. And then of course, Mark Wahlberg's just like cheering them on from the couch. I love even though it's kind of gross, I love the scene where he's in the bathroom. He's like taking a crap on the toilet and the other brother's taking a shower and Tyrese comes in and he's like, hey, wait till I wipe myself. Don't leave without me or whatever. Like, all that interaction. He's like, give me some toilet paper. Like, all those interactions are really funny to me. And I did like them. And we do spoilers. I almost said spoiler. Well, when the one brother, Jack, the young brother, ends up getting killed, like, you can feel that this really affected them. You know what I mean? I think it was a great ensemble. Yeah, I gave him a 4. I think I like him, but I like all of them. Andre 3000, I'd say, is the weakest because he's a rapper. I know Tyrese started as a singer, but by this point he had already been acting. And Andre 3000 not in as much acting roles. He's good, don't get me wrong, but the other ones are a little better. You could tell they're a little more seasoned. You know what I mean?
But I think the reason why, and I could agree, I agree with you 100%. But the only reason I think he fit perfect for his character role is because he was a family man. So it kind of worked. It wasn't like he was like the tough brother or whatever, like Tyrese or Mark Wahlberg. He was more the family man that held the ground of all of them.
He was the oldest brother.
Yes, he was the oldest one. Like, he had the you know what, guys, like, calm down. And it worked for me because that's what he was. And then when he needed to whip him, that's what he did. And I thought it was cool. It
was great. I know. I agree with you. So, okay, 4. Both of us give it a 4. Now, main villain in this case, of course, what's his name? Victor Sweet. I mean, a great name, by the way. Chiwetel Ejiofor, a great actor. What did you think?
I don't think he's a good. Okay, we talked about this. I don't know if did we have the Action Movie Guys podcast at the time. He was the guy in Old Guard from Netflix, right?
Oh, I never saw that.
Okay, no. He does not work for me as a bad guy. He's just does not. And was he good? Yes, he was good. It's just that I never see him in that type of role. I always see him in a good role or more of a drama movie. He's more into those drama movies, right?
He's
I've seen him in a lot of dramatic movies.
He was Doctor Strange. He was in Doctor Strange.
So, but even there, he's not a villain. He was a good guy, right? Because he was, he was a part of the whole gang thing.
Wizard gang.
Yeah, the wizard gang. As a villain, it was hard for me because I see him as a good guy. So I had to get used to it. But with his acting chops, he brought Victor Sweet to life. When he made my man eat off the floor, I said, this dude is a bastard, and I like it. And then he made his girlfriend eat off the floor. Then he made the congressman sit with the kids.
Oh my God. It was so funny.
And it all comes around because they always say never treat people like the way you're not going to. They always say don't treat someone like you don't want to be treated to yourself. Right. So since he treated everyone like crap, at the end of the movie, it bit them in the butt because everyone turned on them. So I kind of liked it. I gave him a 4. I don't think he was a perfect like villain, but I think he was good for this story. He was really, really good, and I totally enjoyed it. I thought it was really well.
I couldn't say better myself. I have the same exact score as you again. I also have a 4. He's such a good actor. I see what you're saying, but he's such a good actor that he almost like flips you. Like, okay, if I tell you Chiwetel Ejiofor is going to be the villain in this movie, not only is a villain, he's like a gangster. Because that's what he is. He's a gangster. You're going to be like, I don't know if I see that. But once he's in the role, You're like, okay, he's such a good actor. That scene in the restaurant is one of the most memorable scenes of the movie because it's so fun. That big, huge guy who could probably fight him if he wanted to. Get on it because he's mad because he's still eating while he's like berating everybody and he keeps eating. Like, oh, you're hungry? Yeah. He's like, oh, you're hungry? You want to keep eating? He throws it on the food. He tells him to eat it like a dog. And the guy does it. And then she's like, hey, stop. He's like, oh, you. And then he yells at her. And he's like, matter of fact, you get on the floor with him. Come join your man. And I love it. It's so good. The kiddie table part is hilarious. And I think he's commanding enough, where you believe, he's like a leader of like a gang. So I thought he was a lot of fun. He's not a 5 material. 5, he's got to be a little more scary. He's not quite scary.
Yes.
But he is intimidating at moments. But you could tell by the end, look, like freaking Bobby Mercer ends up just beating him when it's a one-on-one. He can't really do much. So I still give him a 4, though. He's a lot of fun in this movie. Okay, action.
All right, so the action wasn't that much into this movie. This was more of a murder revenge story than like an actual typical action movie. Yeah. Now, again, since it's a smaller scale action, quality. I always now tackle the quality part, not the length. And in the quality, I give it a 4. It was good. You had the shootout with the brothers and the gang coming in where Jack dies, and I felt very bad. That was really good. And I think that's where my bulk of the quality is in that section of the movie, because the car chase scene was good, but since it was snowy, there was not much. It was them inside the cabin of a car, and you're not giving me much. They're just they're just sliding side to side, car chase, which I'm like, it's good, but not as crazy. But that shootout, now this is where I'm like, there's a quality here is a great. It's not perfect. It's a great. In the middle of a bright daylight, you have dudes just straight up shooting a house. They get to lose one of their brothers. And I went, this is going to come down to ass whipping now. And I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a great, perfect, medium well action steak.
What kind of cut are we looking at here? Like a strip? New York strip. Like
this is a New York strip cut. Yeah, this is not a porterhouse. This is not a ribeye. This is
not a bone-in ribeye. Yeah. New York. Okay, I respect that. I respect that because I have the same score as you. Again, we are in sync here. I gave it a 4. I think I like the car chase a little more than you. Not a lot, but a little more because at least it's unique. I don't remember seeing a movie where there's like hard snow and if it was just the cars chasing. But when they get out the car and are shooting at each other too, that adds a little flair to it, Plus, it's like they can't control the car that good, and I liked it. I thought it was cool. But the house shootout, you're right. Like that is intense. It's an intense scene. These dudes show up with machine guns and they just start shooting. Now, I will say this: that when they shoot the brother, when they shoot Jack, the only thing I don't like about it is he makes such a stupid decision. Because like this dude throws a snowball at him, and all of a sudden he wants to go chasing him, like chasing him down the block. It's like just throw one back and then just go back inside. So he kind of got himself killed, but don't get me wrong, it doesn't lessen the impact of the overall death to the brothers and everything. I just thought that was kind of silly. I do like when the dude turns around though and he got the mask on. He's like, oh shoot, this is not a good idea, and then they just start shooting. And the final finale like fight, too short, But played in a way, I do like the shot of Wahlberg walking in from like, he looks like he just walked across a frozen tundra from God knows where. It's a good, that's like a good hero shot, right? Like, here's the main guy. Oh, you're in trouble, Victor Sweet. You're in trouble. He's like, come on, guys. Good. And they're all like, nah, bro, we sold you out for the money. We want the insurance money and all that. So I like that. And I like the little chase scene earlier with the dude in the hallway in the apartment where they drop him out the window.
That was funny. I laughed so hard. He was like, "You're going down now." He cut the rope.
When they're chasing him up the stairs, and the brother's like, "He's on 6." They're like, "Ugh, crap!" Like we still got to run up more. Very realistic. I like that. So that was
fun.
And
they released the dogs, and he shot nothing. And the
yes, he's like, "Don't shoot my dogs." Yeah, dude. That and then when he wants them to call the ambulance, everything. It has a lot of humor. This movie. So I give it a 4 too. Okay, storyline. I'm going to tell you right now, I give it a 4. It's a great storyline. I don't think it's a perfect storyline, but I think it was great. Perfectly executed.
It was perfectly executed. I mean, I felt the movie. I didn't know what was going on first with the mom because I didn't know how it was going to shape up. But once I figured it out, I was like, it was really perfectly executed how they were trying to cover it up. And then next thing you know, the more they dig deep, they kind of figured out that Victor Sweet was all behind this. And I love the whole twist that they thought it was Andre 3000's character, Jeremiah. I thought that was pretty cool. And then he gave the whooping sauce back at them. I thought everything worked so well that the story, I felt for it. Even Jack dying, I felt for him. Like you were with the characters. And I think that's what I liked about this movie, that it wasn't the point of view story driven that it's like from all over the place. It was, you were with the brothers. That was the storyline. We were in their point of view. We felt like we were their brothers watching the movie, and for me it worked. I thought it worked very well, so kudos to whoever wrote this movie, but I gave it a 4 for great.
I see where this is going. We might be going down the same path here, because I also gave it a 4. I have a couple of gripes which keep it from a 5. I think it's a little needlessly, like, there's a little too much plot at times with the with like the who's behind it and why are they behind it, and like the city councilman and a little too much. Yeah, a little too much. And Terrence Howard, a great actor. I don't know. I liked him in the movie. I liked his relationship with the brothers. Like, he knows their screw ups, but they're cool with it. They have like an understanding, you know? Yeah. I feel like his death was kind of just like, it wasn't that impactful. You know what I mean? Like, as it could have been or should have been. And then the other cop being crooked, and it just kind of comes out of like left field a little bit. And I don't know. I didn't love that. But that being said, I think the script's overall really good. A good revenge story. Not even revenge, more like avenging their mother. You know what I mean? And a lot of humor. Like, I'm telling you, this movie's funny. Like, it's legit. You will laugh. There's a lot of really good funny lines from everyone. Jack doesn't really get to say too much funny stuff, but that's not his role. He's the younger one. He's kind of quiet, introverted, rocker guy. But Tyrese, Andre 3000, and Mark Wahlberg all have some great lines when they're all getting interrogated by the cops. And they all said they slept with their wife. And they're all like, I told him I slept with his wife. He's like, I said that it did too. And then I was like, yeah, so did I. It's so funny. And I don't love the dynamic. Like, I don't like the Sofia Vergara Tyrese thing. Like, I don't get it. I'm like, what's the point of this? Like, she's needless or useless.
I will say this. I will say her character. Yeah, I agree. Her character, it should have been another person. But what made it funny though is when he was like, but she's with someone else, and he goes, but I'm not going there. And next thing you know, you see him
they're coming running out.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's funny.
It is funny. And I love the song that plays there. But it is funny, and I do like that he always calls her La Vida Loca. I think it's funny. You know, I'm Hispanic. I'm not offended by it. I think it's pretty funny that that's just what he calls her every single time. And he's like, I'm not going to see no La Vida Loca. And sure enough, that's exactly where he goes. So yeah, I think it's a good story. It's thoroughly entertaining. I don't think you'll get bored ever in the movie. So that's a good quality story in my opinion. Okay, so overall, I'm going to say is that due to the four brothers' chemistry, due to the storyline actually being a really good story that you're really entertained from beginning to end, the fact that this is a comedy, semi-dark comedy, not comedy, it's a dark comedy. Yeah.
Really good. You have great supporting actors. Dudes with great resume in this damn movie.
Yeah.
The fact that the story, it's not boring at all. You have, like I said, you have a lot of funny pieces. I gave it a 4. I think this is a great movie. I don't think it's a perfect. It's not a perfect, but I think this is one of the most solid scripts that I've seen in a long time. In terms of a movie like this, I had never seen this type of movie. Like I said, this is the first time me watching this movie. And because I liked it so much, I purchased it on Macari to add it on my collection. I thought it was a very good movie, man. My wife saw it when I was watching it, but she walked in and she went to sleep because she worked late, and she was like, "What the hell are you watching?" I was like, "I don't know, but this thing is good." And I knew she wanted to watch it because she loves all those actors. Yeah. So I was like, so I had to purchase it. I'm gonna definitely rewatch it this weekend once it comes in. But I gave it a 4.
Yeah, you know what's funny about this movie? It is super rewatchable. Like, I've seen it a lot of times, and now rewatching it again, I remember why I've seen it so many times, like, before. I remember when I was younger, I saw it a lot. Like, when I was in my 20s, I would watch this movie like every maybe 8-9 months, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes twice a year, because it's just really entertaining. Yeah, I don't do that anymore where I watch movies so close together, but rewatching it is a piece of cake. It's a breezy watch. It's under 2 hours. There's action. There's violence. There's humor. There's a nice family bond. I like the stuff with the mom when she's a ghost and she's talking with them. Like there's some emotional moments, and they do a good job with those emotional, especially Jack. His like cry face is really good. And Garrett Hedlund's not the greatest actor, but he's good in this role. I think he did a good job. Yeah, I think it's a blast. I gave The Four Brothers all fours, but it's a 4 movie, everything 4. I gave it a 4 overall. And by the way, great soundtrack. A lot of 70s, kind of very Detroit Motown. It sounds like Detroit to me. You know what I mean? And John Singleton, director, knocked it out the park, in my opinion. I think this is one of his more entertaining movies because he's made better movies. You know, Boys in the Hood is like a classic, but that's like a hood movie. This is more accessible to the mainstream. And I think it's one of his best like mainstream movies, in my opinion. So we have the same total overall, 20 out of 25.
Yeah, I mean, I got all 4s across the board. I mean, this is an actually really good movie, very entertaining movie. I am so shocked, okay, that we are in Mark Wahlberg month and we gave it almost
all the movies were good.
Yeah, I think we did back to back, right? Jason Statham was last. Yeah. Right? And then we went right into Wahlberg month.
But we didn't give a single one of his movies Deepwater Horizon was awesome.
Shooter.
This movie was awesome. Shooter and Italian Job. Mark Wahlberg got some bangers. That's all I'm saying. He's in entertaining movies.
He's a hidden gem. He's like a diamond in the rough. Like people don't know that he's really good, but I mean,
if you want to see his one Oscar nominated performance, The Departed. He's only in it a little bit, but he's so good as that. He's pissed. You want to talk about a pissed off character? That's the one where it doesn't seem fake. It just seems like he's really that angry. The Departed.
I heard the Fear was good. My wife said Fear is really good.
Fear's a nice little thriller. Yeah. I like Mark Wahlberg. I think he's versatile too. I like him in comedies. I think he's funny. So yeah, I'm a fan. So it seems like you guys did a great job voting for these movies. Yeah. You gave us 4 really fun Mark Wahlberg movies. Everything but Transformers was like a really blast to watch. Now we're moving on. Next week, we have 3 episodes we're going to be doing. Of course, we're going to be closing out our Transformers series with Transformers The Last Night. We will also be dropping a bonus episode where we will be reviewing Bumblebee. So it's not quite included in the franchise, but we're going to throw it in anyway. And we're going to be doing that with some of these franchises who have these like reboots or kind of side movies. We're going to be doing the bonus episodes for. And then, of course, starting a new month in honor of Black History Month, just like we did last year, all action movies with black leads, starting off with a pretty great movie, another Antoine Fuqua movie with Denzel Washington, The Equalizer. Well, finally, I'm surprised it took us 128 episodes or whatever it'll be to get to The Equalizer, but hey, there's a lot of action movies in this world. So we'll be starting that. And then we got some Will Smith in there. We got some Halle Berry, secret Halle Berry. We're not even going to tell you what it is right now. And then our next franchise, all the Superman movies. So we're getting to some comic book fare and some movies I haven't seen. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an awesome month. But yeah, one more. Woo. Oh, baby.
He's good. He does good flicks.
Yeah, he does. But again, if you guys want to follow us on our social media accounts, please follow Nate over on Instagram at NateFlix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called NateFlix Movie Reviews. Anything action movie, guys, go to www.youtube.com/Levels of Geek. So if you guys want to follow us on our audio podcast version, then go to Apple iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio. Anywhere you listen, any platform for podcasts, search for Action Movie Guys. Subscribe, rate, auto download, do what you got to do, but just listen to us and give us some good ratings. Other than that, that is your host,
Nate from NateFlix Reviews.
I'm his co-host, Alex Figueroa. Be awesome to each other and geek out.